Hey guys, it's KeriTV, and I'm back again with my special guest, Dave White, because we have a very special topic today to talk about, a very complicated topic that makes people a lot of money. So stay tuned. Okay, so Dave, Dad, what is a 1031 exchange? What does that even mean?
1031 is an IRS code.
Okay.
And it's for investment properties. So it means you can, if you've got an investment property and you would sell it and there's going to be a tax liability, a 1031 allows you to defer the taxes.
When you buy another property, right?
As long as you buy another investment property, and you can actually defer them for life. Which means is when the owner passes away and the children get the building, they don't get don't have to pay the taxes because the building is sold at the stepped up price.
Wow, that's really nice. So basically it's a way to save money on taxes when you are purchasing property and reinvesting, because that could be a big hit. You could, couple hundred, $300,000-$400,000 in taxes you'd be paying on your income for some of these properties, right?
Right, but not so much when you're purchasing your first property.
Yeah.
But when you already own a property and you want to buy another property because you've built up maybe $1 million in equity in the property, and what's the use of that,
If you're paying a lot of taxes on it.
Well, if you sold it, yes,
Yeah.
you'd be paying 20% tax, 10% to the government, another 5% to somebody else. You end up with about 55% of your money.
Right, so the government have put in this great tax code so that you can actually take the money that you've earned, that it's grown in profit, and put it into another building, which keeps increasing your wealth as an investment owner. So who qualifies for 1031? Anybody who owns property? No.
Anybody that has a rental property.
An investment property, okay.
Right.
So not your primary residence. You can't 1031 a primary residence, but you do have the tax savings there, $250 to $500 based on being married or single. So investment property. Now, what type of investment? So if it's going to be a condo, a house, a multi-unit?
It can be anything that's a rental property. So if you sell your condo, your house, your boat,
Your boat.
the boat that you've been renting out, you can buy another property as long as it's called like kind.
Okay, what's a like kind?
That means if you've got a rental property and you buy another property or business, it has to be a rental property. You have to make income off it.
Okay, so if it's a condo, you can buy a condo or a house?
Or a building.
You can buy anything. Okay, what about the price point?
Price point, you have to buy, if you sold the place for $1 million, you have to buy something for at least another $1 million. And if you don't, then let's say you bought something for $800, they call that other $200 boot, and you'd have to pay taxes on the $200.
Okay, so the booty gets taxed. So if you do find something that's not the same price you're selling for, you can still put part of it into the 1031 exchange.
You can.
Okay.
But the biggest thing with the 1031 is the whole reason people do it is to get more property, increase their inventory. Because if you sell a property for $1 million, you've probably got $800,000 in equity. Well, now with only having to put down 30%, you can go and buy 3 properties.
You can buy 3 properties.
Right.
Okay, great. This sounds like a great idea. If anybody's watching and you have investment property, it might be time to give us, Dave, a call about those investment properties. Talk to me about the process. To even start a 1031, how complicated is it during escrow? What do you do?
1031 is not complicated at all.
Okay.
Because when you open escrow, and once you open escrow, you send a notice
Getting very granular.
You send the buyer of the property you're buying. You say you're doing a 1031. You accommodate you call the 1031 accommodator. That's a special company, because when you close escrow, the money has to go to the accommodator.
So basically, when you're purchasing your next property, all you need to do is agree with the buyer and seller that there's a 1031. It doesn't impact the buyer. Then you hire an exchange accommodator. We love Phil Antoine. Exchange Resources.
We do.
He's the best. His people are the best. And so then they facilitate the transaction. It doesn't impact escrow at all, but all the funds and the proceeds don't go into the seller's bank account. It goes into the accommodator's trust. And then they use that to purchase the next property. That's so the government can make sure that the owner is not pocketing any money.
And here's the thing, you cannot, once it sells, you cannot even put it into your account for even 1 day, because if you do, you've blown the 1031. But the good thing about the 1031 is you get 45 days to nominate your property.
Oh, that's a good question. So there's a time frame with 1031s. Can you talk to us about that?
definite time frame. You get from when you close escrow on the sale on the property you're selling, you have 6 months to close escrow on your new property. But you only have 45 days to nominate the property you want to buy. But you can also nominate up to 3 properties, and out of those 3 properties, you still only have to buy one of them, or you can buy all 3. If you nominate any more than 3 properties, then you have to start buying more of the properties. You can't just pick and choose. There's a few things you have to know about it, but it's...
So basically, we'll call the property that you own now 123 Banana Street. So Banana Street closes today, 123 Banana Street. Then you have 45 days from today to identify 3 properties.
Right.
And then of those 3, you have to close on 1 in 6 months.
Right.
Which you normally close on it right away.
Yeah, you can generally close before 6 months, but I know people that have had them come right down to the last day when they've closed.
Exactly. Now, talk to me about if somebody can't identify another investment property in that 45 days. Are there any options usually with buyers? Do we find flexibility sometimes?
The only time they found flexibility was when the California fires happened, the last 18 months. So they said, well, because you were involved in the fire, it restricted what you can do. But it's the government you're dealing with here, and they were very, very strict.
They're very strict. So
45 days, you can't do it on 46. It's got to be 45, and you have to close in 6 months.
So an idea to anybody doing this is to build into the contract with the buyer with possible extensions to close in case you're worried about finding something. So you'll have to find a buyer that's okay with that, but that is an option to kind of give you a little bit more time. The buyer usually won't allow more than 1, 2, 3 extensions, but it is a good way to do it.
Well, it's a great way to do it, and also people will generally, the seller will generally give you, maybe sometimes we write in the contract when we even write the offer that we're only going to close when we've found our replacement property.
Yeah, that's a great idea. So obviously this is a pretty complicated process and you need experts, but it's also one that makes you a lot of money, and that's why we love buying real estate in 1031 exchanges.
They're the best.
They're the best.
That's all we can do.
How many properties do we own?
About 8, I think.
8 now?
But we started off with 1, and we 1031, then we 1031, then we 1031.
So this is income property mogul right here. So if you have questions, this is your guy. So thanks for watching today, and we'll get back to our 15 lessons next week, and I'm sure Dave will be on the show again soon.
Hey, we look forward to hearing you about your 1031.
Bye!